I was diagnosed by biopsy about a year and 5 months ago in California for stage 4 lung cancer. I had shortness of breath and a number of symptoms, been losing weight, so I went to St. Vincent's Medical Center and got a biopsy and got the tests, and then that's what they diagnosed me with. Stage 4 lung cancer, beyond treatment, beyond radiation, beyond treatment for chemotherapy, and beyond treatment for surgery. So they didn't have anything they could offer me. And so I talked to the doctor and I said, well, what's my odds? What's the possibility of beating this? He was an old pulmonologist, and he said, I've never seen anyone beat it. I went into emergency ward, and they said, well, you got clots in critical veins, and you can die any minute. Way he said it was, I said, what's going on with me? And he said, it could be lights out any minute. So the doctor recommended us to hospice. So I started hospice 2 days later, and I'm a member of hospice now. Now I just finished up my first 30 days in the program, and when I started, I was 2 feet in the grave and 1 hand at the edge. So I came here only to survive a month. That was my goal in coming here. Could the Delta Institute give me another month of life? I have more energy. I had a squamous cell on my ear that was like a little horn. And one day, about 3 weeks in the program, just fell off. I've had, I don't know how many people tell me that I just look so much more alive and better. And then to cap it off, last week I went skiing for the first time in 2 years. And I'm really happy that I found this institute 7 miles from my house. It's like a super uber miracle that I never expected to find. And it's given me a new life.
You know, it was a year ago now that I was supposed to die any minute. I didn't. I had a pitfall along the way where I caught a pneumonia, and the doctor said instead of minutes, well, to my wife, it'll be a couple weeks now and you'll be gone. So I went to hospice, and after a couple weeks, they said, why are you lifting weights? You're going to die. And why are you out walking? You know, when you're going to die, you don't strengthen. That's crazy. Just wait around to die. And I said, no, I want to die strong. So a couple weeks later, they said, you're stronger than the nurses here. We're starting to ask, what are you doing here? So after 2 months, I left hospice. So I'm home now, and at home I can work on things I couldn't work on there, like preparing for a half a marathon. I'm not quite ready to say, yes, I'll do a marathon yet. 14 miles looks kind of daunting because I began with 1 mile. But I've worked up to half of that. I've worked up to 8 miles now. So I'm taking ground, and I got this mental set that I can do it. I can do a half a marathon. You know, I could probably do it today, but it'd be a little hard. I'm also starting to lift weights again, more regularly, stretching, and doing things like that are making a difference along with the BX protocol, which I do every day. Boy, that's the mainstay of what I do. And I then do additional things for my mind and spirit, but really right now the keystone, and has been for a year, is the BX protocol. You know, just to give you an idea of the ground I've taken, 2 days ago, I went paragliding. And we got up in the air, and for an hour and a half, he's teaching me how to fly the thing and everything. And it's so enlivening to take on things I haven't normally done. And that's really part of my recovery program, is to just keep expanding with impossible games that I haven't done and couldn't do. That's just part of my recovery. But it demonstrated to me again a victory of overcoming cancer And each one of those things like that is a victory. And I'm excited about those victories. So I went to see the doctor, Dr. Akerley, and the staff, who's a pulmonologist, as well as a lung cancer specialist. And he said, well, I don't know what to tell you. You had a golf ball size tumor in your lung, and it's now dead material that's redissolving. And I said, what about the rest of the tumors? He said, well, they're usually connected, so I suspect the whole works is going. He said, whatever you're doing, you're out of the books. Your blood work is normal. I've never seen anything like your tumors are better behaved than anything I've ever seen in 31 years of practice. He said, I thought you're 1 in 1,000, but it's not in that category anymore. It's beyond 1 in 1,000. I said, I don't need to see you except occasionally, maybe once every 4 months, just, light tracking. I don't need to see you for this lung cancer anymore. I checked out with my good friend Dr. Valerie Donaldson, what are the odds that I was fighting against? And she said, well, at 80 years, stage 4 lung cancer, 0%. You'll survive it over a couple years. 0%. I go to my oncologist a couple weeks ago, a new oncologist, and I ask him, how's it going? He says, I've never seen anything like this. He says, your tumors are dissolving and disappearing. He said, that's unheard of. He said, we can't believe it. He said, we'll check up on you occasionally, but we're not going to recommend anything for you. You're doing great. Tumors have stopped growing, they're regressing. Your blood work is normal. You're, as far as I can tell, healthier than half the staff here. I went from hospice with weeks to live to preparing for a half a marathon. I went from hospice with, waiting around to die on morphine to jumping out of an airplane and skydiving. I went from hospice to doing paragliding yesterday. And I went from hospice to a whole new world of health and energy. I don't know if people get that, but I'm telling you, getting through this lung cancer is like a whole new world beginning again. And it's exciting to begin again. Every day I do an extra mile as a victory.